This franchise is a core staple of my childhood. I had it on DVDs and I think VHS as well. I'm not that old. I'm an '05 baby. This video is very late. I missed the anniversary by a lot of months. But I was already planning on making this video, so here we are. Video starts, I realized I've never introduced myself. I'm Kay, also known as JK Jap. The second K is silent. Nice to meet you. On with the video.
Tom and Jerry both know that action speaks louder than words. For the record, we prefer the action. It's Tom and Jerry on Boomerang.
I think everyone knows the history of Tom and Jerry, or at least bits and pieces. Tom and Jerry were created by very familiar names, William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, icons. The show was initially a short created for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, better known as MGM. The goal was to create a successive cartoon for the studio, which hadn't produced a hit since the 1930s. They debuted with a short, Puss Gets the Boot. It premiered February of 1940 and featured the characters initially named Jasper and Jinx. After the cartoon's immediate success, Hanna and Barbera decided to rename the duo, offering a $50 prize to MGM employees if they could suggest a better name, which is a lot of money back in the day if you adjust for inflation. This gave us the iconic names Tom and Jerry. Okay, so we all know the plot of the show. Don't pretend you don't. Tom the cat chases around Jerry the mouse, and shenanigans ensue. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam, we're done. No matter what era you're coming from, you can recognize the characters, from the simplest of cosplays to their humanized fan art. Now to what most would consider the golden age of Tom and Jerry, the 1940s through the 1950s. Basic premise of Tom trying to catch Jerry became a hit due to its blend of slapstick humor, dynamic action, and animation quality. Tom's evolving design from a more realistic cat to a more stylized character helped solidify the duo's appeal to the general audience. Between 1943 and 1953, which is 10 years, Tom and Jerry won 7 Academy Awards. Let me repeat that, 7 awards from the place that really doesn't like animation nowadays. They won Best Animated Short Film, tying with Walt Disney's Silly Symphonies for the most awards in the category. These shorts include the classics like The Cat Concert in 1947 and Joan Mouse in 1953. These names, damn. In 1957, MGM closed its animation department, ending Hanna-Barbera's original run. The studio believed it could profit more from re-releasing older cartoons than producing new ones. A sentiment everyone seems to have nowadays of how history repeats itself. The decline for the show was slow, but most would consider it the start beat with the Jinx era from 1961 to 1962. Funny enough, this is the era I'm most familiar with, other than the straight-to-DVD releases. I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but I actually like this era. I didn't think it wasn't that bad. MGM handed over the reins of Tom and Jerry to Czechoslovakian. Animator Gene Ditch, who brought his own distinctive touch to the series. Working with Remnant Films, Ditch produced 13 shorts that stood out for their experimental style, minimalist settings, and quirky humor. This era is often considered one of the least popular, largely due to the depiction of Tom's owner, who openly despises Tom and frequently mistreats him. The animation quality also declined, becoming cheaper, choppier, and more immature. During this time, the series introduced unusual gimmicks, with Tom and Jerry traveling to space, which I did like. Who doesn't like a space adventure? Or different countries. Though similar concepts existed in the Hanna-Barbera era, these felt particularly out of place for audience coming from the previous shorts.
I just decided I don't like you.
I just decided I don't care.
The next era that most point, the Chuck Jones era, was relatively well liked. It was truly the good guy versus the bad guy kind of dynamic coming from the previous era. Chuck Jones is best known for his work on Looney Tunes and the iconic How the Grinch Stole Christmas animated short. He produced 34 Tom and Jerry shorts. The animation saw a significant improvement from the previous era, with character designs taking on more charming and cutesy style. He did a mean-spirited owner, which was a huge relief, and brought back the focus to the classic Tom and Jerry antics. Most would consider it to be better than the OG series, but consider how large shoes to fill overall, it's done.
Sure, sure Jerry gets tired of running for his life from Tom every day, but on the plus side, it's nice to be needed. Tom and Jerry will be back. Now back to more Tom and Jerry here on Cartoon Network.
The next era would be the run through the 70s, which was heavily censored due to the racial stereotypes and offensive imagery. However, there were just some parents who thought slapstick was too much for children. Due to this, some episodes of the original run could not be aired. The studio decided to reboot the show. At this time, Hanna-Barbera had already founded their own production studio, so they created a new Tom and Jerry television series. The show was made with a smaller budget and had to follow TV guidelines of the time. Because of this, the show made Tom and Jerry friends and significantly toned down the slapstick. A lot of fans did not like this. They found it dull and unfilling. Yes, it was unfulfilling. They found it dull and unfunny, defeating the purpose of the original series. There were even rumors going around that William Hanna and Joseph Barbera also hated the series and wished they hadn't made it. But those are just rumors. None of this has been confirmed. Allegedly. Allegedly.
What kind of place is this?
The 80s versions of Tom and Jerry produced by Filmation brought the series back to its roots with the duo being rivals in the slapstick humor. Unfortunately, this era was considered to have worse animation than the Gene Mitch era. You can see for yourself if that's true. The show really struggled with its lower animation quality and shorter episodes.
It's a Tom and Jerry show as it included other characters from the Hanna-Barbera lineup, something they were doing a lot like Scooby-Doo.
Eventually, going into the 90s era of Tom and Jerry, the weird one, as this was during the time every single studio was gamifying their characters, Tom and Jerry also got hit with it. The show did keep the spirit of the original, just turning Tom into a kitten and Jerry into a baby mouse. Another thing that overshadowed the show was a Tom and Jerry movie that was released theatrically and aimed at a more modern audience. It was a box office failure, making only $3.6 million on a $3.5 million budget. Audiences hated that their favorite animal characters could now talk. That was the most open debate, that they hated that they were talking.
I'm Tom.
I'm Jerry.
You talked! Well, sure I talk. What do you think I am, a dummy?
You said it. I didn't.
Next, onto an era that I'm most familiar with, the 2000s direct-to-DVD films. These were created as Warner Brothers gained the rights to Tom and Jerry. This is like the greatest era that ever happened for Tom and Jerry. Non-debatable. Sorry, I don't care. The movie semi-stuck to their original roots of slapstick humor, and the duo being rivals, but there were obviously a lot of twists. They're not all the same. Some of these twists were like them being in fairy tales, like the Jack and Beanstalk fairy tale, which is one of my favorites, or The Wizard of Oz, which isn't a fairy tale, but it's basically the same. They also traveled to other locations like space, and then they also teamed up with other Hanna-Barbera characters like Jonny Quest. My favorite movie is the racing one, when they go, it's like, what's that show called? It's on the tip of my tongue, I don't remember, but it's like that show, and I really enjoyed it, okay? That's my favorite, that's number one, and I highly recommend you watch it. That's just my opinion, and others believe they were throwing it at the wall and hoping it stuck. Through the 2010s and early 2020s, there were Tom and Jerry shows created for the Cartoon Network and later HBO Max, which were all well liked and well received, but in 2021, Tom and Jerry got another movie released theatrically, being an animation / live action hybrid thing, Who Framed Roger Rabbit style, like that. The movie, I believe, did alright at the box office, making $136 million on a budget of $50 to $79 million, I believe. The film received generally negative reviews from critics, as it was praised for the nostalgic moments, but criticized for the storyline and its mix of its live action elements. In short, people wanted to be fully animated instead of half other like. And that's it as of the making of this video. There is still an ongoing series. Looking back, the success of Tom and Jerry was instantaneous, and nothing after that could really live up to the hype. The franchise hasn't fallen as much as it's stagnated. It's more recognized for its meme ability than anything else nowadays. But this show was a staple in many childhoods, including mine, and will always have a special place in my heart, no matter what anyone says. That's it. There's supposed to be something else. I guess I could advertise myself. I do commissions, so if you want commissions, there's a link down below to my website. Or if you just want to adopt those, I still have those. Link down below. I like to see you smile, so have a damn good day.